Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today to do a little bit of celebrity tea. And first one up is Steve Harvey. Now y'all know in the last few weeks, Steve has had quite a time. Basically, we lit him up when he went to see Donald Trump. The black community was not here for it. You know, they really didn't go for that meeting. They didn't fall for the excuse that Steve Harvey gave. He basically said that he went there because he wanted to have a meeting with Donald Trump concerning, everything that's going on in the inner cities. And he thought that he could be a voice in Donald Trump's ear to try to get some help for the inner cities. Well, Black Twitter wasn't here for that. They felt like he was cooning and they let him have it. Now, since then, we've heard that this has really hurt Steve and that he did not expect the backlash that he got. Well, that was that. And what I've heard here recently is, you know how Steve Harvey has that annual neighborhood award show? Well, I heard that Steve has recently canceled it. Now, Steve Harvey is the face of that show, but is actually owned by his manager, Rushion McDonald. And Steve Harvey and Rushion McDonald severed their ties last year. Basically, Rushion McDonald does not represent Steve Harvey anymore, and they say that because of the end of that relationship, that Steve Harvey decided that he no longer wanted to do that show. Now, you know that show is a show that was put on to honor, local businesses, activists, teachers, and churches. And it was a pretty good show. I know that I watched it a couple times and I loved Steve on the show. I love the format of the show and everything about it. And they're also saying that that show was kind of put out there for Steve to soften his image with his fans. Now, there are a lot of reports that when Steve Harvey encounters fans, that he is, kind of not nice to them. Now, when I was reading all these reports, I was surprised because on television, Steve Harvey comes off as a very approachable person and, pretty nice. I never thought that I would read stories about him being, mean to fans when he meets them in public. That was just something I never thought that, I would hear about Steve Harvey. And a lot of people might think that this has something to do with the backlash that he received from meeting Donald Trump. But apparently, they're saying that it does not. That it was already in the works where Steve was not going to be a part of that show. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think that maybe, him and Rushion McDonald had severed their ties, and once he received that backlash, that was just one more nail in the coffin of that show? Or do you believe them when they say that it was already in the works for Steve not to be a part of that show anymore? And also, what do you think of this thing where a lot of fans are saying that when you meet Steve Harvey in person, he is not nice, he's dry, and he's basically kind of mean to fans? Leave it down in the comment section because I'd be curious to see what you guys think of that. The next ones up are Robin Thicke and Paula Patton. Now, y'all, I just read a story that was a little concerning with those two. Now, you know that they have gotten a divorce, and basically the grounds of their divorce was that Robin Thicke was cheating. And after, they separated, we heard that Robin Thicke was addicted to drugs and he was drinking. Well, this latest story that I read is that Paula Patton has requested a restraining order against Robin Thicke. And in the restraining order, it says that he must stay about 100 yards away from her, her mother, and their child, Julian. Now, in this restraining order, Paula explains that Robin Thicke has been physically and emotionally abusive to her several times. She said that this went on during their marriage. She talks about several times where he has punched and kicked her and threw her to the floor. She also, in this report, talked about his infidelity. She says that she knows that he wasn't faithful, throughout their marriage, and she actually caught him in bed with 2 women. And she said that at the time when she caught him in bed with 2 women, that she wanted to go for divorce then, but he was threatening to her, and she was afraid that he would harm her if she filed for divorce. Now, right now, they're going through a custody battle for their child, and she said that when he gets drunk or he's abusing drugs, that she is afraid of him. Y'all, these stars' lives, I'm telling you, you think that with all that they have, that their lives would be, pretty good. But as we can see, they go through the same problems that everyday folks do. Now, I had heard, that he was a cheater. Everybody knew that. And then he admitted to, abusing drugs and alcohol. But I never thought that I would hear that he was abusive. He didn't give me that kind of, feel from him. And we know that he just recently lost his father. So it looks like Robin Thicke is, he's going through it here lately. I'm just surprised, that of these allegations that Paula Patton is making. And what I wanted to know is, do you guys believe her, or do you believe that because she's in the middle of this custody battle, because see, they're already divorced, but she's saying that, when he comes to pick up their child, because he was granted visitation, and he was coming to get the child on the weekend. But she says that when they have those encounters, when he has to pick up the child, that's when all of this stuff is happening. It went on through their marriage, and when he comes to pick up their baby, I guess she can tell that he's drunk or that he's been using drugs, and it causes problems between them. She even talked about how she feels that he spanks their child too hard. Child, I don't know. Sometimes when women are going through divorces, you have some women that, throw false allegations, so they can retain custody of the child. So do you think because they're going through this custody battle that she's throwing false charges at him so she can keep the baby and he doesn't get a chance to see the baby? Or do you think that there's something to it, that because he's abusing drugs and alcohol, that he's not acting like his normal self and he is being abusive? Put it down in the comment section, because as always, I'd be curious to know what you guys think. The last one up, y'all, is Keisha Knight Pulliam. Now, recently, Keisha had her baby, and she did have a little girl. So congratulations to her on a healthy baby. But the reason why I wanted to do the story is, she didn't tell Ed that she was in labor or, about to have the baby. Now, I don't know what I feel about that, because if she's saying that this man is the father, don't you think she should have told him that she was in labor? Now, I know normally when you have a baby, if everything is fine, you're only there for about a day. If there are any complications, you may stay 2 days, but normally if it's a regular delivery, you're out, within 24 hours. But she could have called him. I think that, you know, Keisha is taking this little diva thing too far, because she made all of this rigmarole about him being the father, and, you know, him denying the baby, saying it wasn't his. But if she wants to have a good co-parenting relationship with him, I think it would have started there in the hospital. Now, I know these two have had problems, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I think just not telling him was, you know, kind of shady. They said Ed didn't find out until she was home and had the baby and everything, and he didn't even find out from her. He found out from his attorney. So I just think that was a little shady on her part. Um, you know, she didn't have to talk to him. She could have had him come up to the hospital, had them bring the baby in the room, or he could have went to the nursery or something. I just think that was just taking it a little bit far. Y'all just let me know what y'all think about it. And with that, everyone, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day now. Bye-bye.